Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, that's one big story which we will keep, referring to, the possibility of more sanctions or more tariffs against Chinese goods and what that might mean in terms of retaliation. But the big domestic story is going to be the latest bypoll results from both Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, and some of them are Lok Sabha bypolls. CNN News 18's Bhupendra Chaubey now joins us on the phone line. Bhupen, good morning. Thanks a lot for waking up early for us. How much would you extrapolate these Uttar Pradesh results to the 2019 polls? Would you say that this is just an opportunistic coming in of SP-BSP, or is this a warning bell?
Good morning, Lata. Good morning, and thanks for having me over. The best way, frankly, to describe these bypolls would be to say that this is a wake-up call. It's ringing of the alarm bells to the Bharatiya Janata Party. But would I go to the extent of saying that even if the BSP and the SP were to be together, let's say at the time of 2019 Lok Sabha elections, and the reason why I'm injecting a dose of cynicism here is because having tracked Mayawati's career for a while, and also just a quick reminder for your viewers that there is an alive case of disproportionate assets against Mayawati, which is at the Supreme Court. So there can be, various twists and turns in this newfound bonhomie between the two leaders. But assuming that this alliance holds, at the time of Lok Sabha elections, it will be a referendum on Narendra Modi. The chief face will be Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi versus a combination of Akhilesh Yadav plus Mayawati, maybe with the Congress thrown in, may make for a delightful television show or a good column. But I don't think it will necessarily lead to the same result that we have seen in Phulpur and Gorakhpur.
Okay, Bhupen, good morning. Of course, Bhupen got, by the way, the Bihar elections and the UP elections, right? So he perhaps knows the politics of UP and Bihar better than anyone else. But the point here is, yesterday there were slogans of Bua Bhatija Jindabad, right, Bhupen? And you have seen how UP politics works. Purely out of desperation is a move possible. And arithmetically, if the core vote is intact, do you think that could still disturb the apple cart in the sense that the BJP may not get, say, 71, 73, the tally may come down, and that would be important from 2019 point of view?
No, that's a fair point, and I think your market viewers would understand numbers quite well. So let me put up some statistics for you. Statistic number one is that in these bypolls, you saw an average lower turnout by 10%.
Yes.
If I was to extrapolate between the 10 assembly constituencies across these two Lok Sabha constituencies, in urban pockets, that low voter turnout reached as high as a reduction of 20%. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that there was no enthusiasm about these bypolls. That could also be extrapolated to suggest that maybe within the urban pockets of Uttar Pradesh, there is a resentment against the kind of policies which may have been implemented, or maybe there is a certain degree of disappointment which exists. But assuming that the vote basis stay intact, Narendra Modi, I think, still has the power to attract a substantially higher chunk of votes in the Bharatiya Janata Party's favor. That's why I'm saying when the chief campaigner is Narendra Modi, it's not essential that A plus B, the vote basis of Samajwadi Party and Mayawati, necessarily will lead you to the kind of results that you have seen. Reduction of seats, perhaps, but I don't predict a wipeout of the BJP.
No, not wipeout.
Okay. Bhupen, morning. What about the Congress? I mean, we're seeing increasingly smaller parties form a stronghold in many of the states, and the Congress is now becoming increasingly a fringe player. Do you think that the Congress should be ready to accept being a junior partner in the united opposition?
That's a subject which I'm planning to target today on my program Viewpoint on CNN News 18. So I frankly believe that has been the biggest impact of what we have seen yesterday. The Congress candidates have lost their deposits in both these Lok Sabha constituencies. And if you look at all states where the Congress is not in business, can we say, for instance, assume that the Congress will let the Aam Aadmi Party contest all seats in Delhi? Can we say, for instance, that in Tamil Nadu the Congress will not contest at all and it will let the DMK fight its battle on its own? Can the Congress cut down its own expectations in the state of Uttar Pradesh if it just doesn't have its average voter turnout has reduced by 60% across these two constituencies? Now, what that will mean is this, that in 2019 you'll see a different kind of politics. This question which has repeatedly been raised, that is Rahul Gandhi going to lead a conglomerate of opposition parties? I think the Congress should be willing to accept that it can't be the preeminent principal pole within the opposition space. What you will see is that in Maharashtra, if the Shiv Sena is willing to do business with the NCP, I think that there will be some kind of a formal understanding between the NCP and Shiv Sena, maybe under the watchful guidance of the Congress party, if not a formal alliance. Similarly, in Uttar Pradesh, I don't think that Akhilesh Yadav or Mayawati would tie up officially with the Congress party. But again, that Uttar Pradesh match will have to be won by SP-BSP combined. The Maharashtra match will have to be won by the NCP and the Shiv Sena combined. Similarly, in Orissa, if there is an understanding between Naveen Patnaik and the Congress party, it will be Naveen Patnaik's responsibility to win that match. Sure. In 2019, different states will have to be won by different regional parties, with an understanding that if they do win that, there will be some kind of a larger game with the Congress party.
Take your point, Bhupen. Thank you very much for putting all that into perspective. I mean, this is really the point. It is a one-off result which has gone against the BJP, but it will take a lot for the opposition to unite, and the possible unifying factor which could have been Congress is, as you correctly described, Sonia, becoming a fringe player.
And I'll tell you one more thing.
And losing deposit.
Indian voters have become really savvy and really smart, and sometimes by-polls and assembly polls are also a message to the ruling party. Yesterday, for example, while it so happened that while going back, my Ola driver was from Gorakhpur, and he was very clear that obviously there was a bit of a resentment about the recent happenings in Gorakhpur, and they wanted to convey a message. But when I asked him that, okay, in 2019, he said, no chance, only Narendra Modi. So obviously, that Modi factor is still very prevalent, and this was an election in which there was lack of voting. The voter percentage was down about 10%, and when voting percentage is down 10 to 15%, obviously the ruling party voters have not turned up. So you should not extrapolate at all from this election.
Oh, I wouldn't say at all, but I would say that the market discounted it yesterday.
Exactly.
So for us, whether we should worry about it today is the point.
Okay, well, that was, of course, we'll get a lot of news flow up until 2019. So it's going to be a very evolving story. For now, let's do one thing. Let's discuss the here and the now. When we